Buongiorno. O buenos dias. Oh, good morning. Okay, the good mornings have it. As Father Joao just said, I am Cardinal Kevin Farrell, and my left here is Cardinal Baldessari. You all remember Cardinal Baldessari, or those of you who assisted at the Synod. He is the mastermind behind the Synod, and we thank him in a very special way for being here today, because as you all know, the Synod on youth was just one synod. Cardinal Baldessari begins another synod in another few months, and a completely different theme. And a year after that, he will be another synod. So he spends his life preparing synods and conducting synods of bishops. So we thank him for taking time out of his very heavy schedule to be with us today. I just want to say a word. I would just want to say a word of welcome to all of you who are here today. You come from many different parts of the world. You come representing the church in your own countries. Many of you are from conferences of bishops or representative of conferences of bishops throughout the world. Many of you are also members of ecclesial movements who are involved and in youth ministry and young adult ministry. We thank you. We thank you for your presence here today, because, you know, many times we say you are an important part of the church. Well, I mentioned those words the last time I was speaking to Pope Francis about this gathering here today, and he corrected me and said, the young people are not an important part of the church. The young people are the church. And I think that's an important idea that we all need to keep in mind as we go through these 3 or 4 days of intense work. We've been called here to report on youth ministry and the effect of the Synod and the effect of Christus Vivit on our lives and on the lives of our people and the life of the church where you come from. Together with many of the experts who were here who participated also in the Synod and who are heavily involved in the work of youth ministry and young adult ministry. So we thank you all, and we thank you for your presence here today. We know how busy summertime can be for each and every one of you, but we thank you for your presence here today. I would just like to make one brief reflection from Christus Vivit. You know, many times we listen to phrases that Pope Francis speaks. He often says to us that you are the church. You're not an important part of the church. You are the church. He often says you are not the future of the church. You are the now of the church. I would just like you all to reflect for one moment on what it is we do. We are followers of Jesus Christ. There is a very important paragraph in Christus Vivit, paragraph 30, 31, and 32, where it speaks as Jesus, the young person. You know, we have a tendency many times for us to look at Jesus and to consider Jesus on his earthly life as a wise old man, or a man who is wise, full of wisdom. Yes, he was full of wisdom, but he was a young man. And we should never forget that. He was young. A matter of fact, if he were living here today and among us, he'd be sitting out there with you, because he would qualify. His age was in his early 30s, very early 30s, when his life was over. When he died, his whole life was lived between, let's say, his public ministry was the age that each and every one of you have here today. So I would hope that we would always consider that when Jesus challenged the scribes and the Pharisees in the Gospels, he was your age. When Jesus, went against the system, as it were, of the high priests at the time, he was your age. When Jesus performed the miracles, when he prayed, when he had wisdom to guide the apostles, he was your age. So let us not, in the world of the church, as we listen to the words of the synod, and we listen to the words of our Holy Father in the apostolic exhortation, let us not think of some leader that's wise beyond their years. Let us think of the young person that Jesus Christ was when he lived and when he walked the earth and when he was our leader. So, that reflection is to remind us all that the words that Pope Francis speaks when he speaks about the now, and he speaks about the church, that you are the church, he's referring precisely to that. You are the leaders, you are the ones who have to guide us, you are the ones, and that is why we are all here today. We're here to listen to you. We're here so that you can guide us and point many times us in the right direction. Nobody would have thought that a young person would have ideas that would last for 2,000 years. Well, Jesus did. He was a young person at one time, and that is something I hope we will all remember. So I thank you all. These are important days. These are crucial for the church and crucial for the living of our Catholic faith, our Christian faith throughout the world. So I thank you all for your presence, and we will be here to accompany you during these days. So thank you all, and God bless you all.